So seeing as I was going to get started with my another countdown calendar, I realized that I wanted to have all of this paper available to me, because if I want to do assembly line steps for my countdown calendars, I need to have access to all of my paper. That is just my thinking. That is just the way I work. I have a limited color palette with the 4 stacks that I did break up, and so I wanted to bring in more color because I don't want to just use cream, black, gold foil, and red. This has a bit more blue, this has pink, this has red, lots of vibrant green, and I like the countdown calendars to be something cute and colorful and vibrant and fun. And so I'm gonna go ahead and take all of these paper pads apart and then see how much we come up with in the next 4 or 5 paper pads that I have left. So I did check the dates on these, and like the other paper pads, I do have some in a few bags. They do or don't have paper scraps. This one has the paper scraps, so I'm gonna designate this one the one to hold all the paper scraps for these pads all together. I'm going to go ahead and start. I'm gonna remove this. These are from Mambi. They don't have a title on them, but they are from 2013. I really love color. I've noticed that I tend to gravitate, like things like this make me very excited. I like that I can use this still. It is not a full 12 by 12 sheet, so this is gonna go in the scraps along with all of this. Now, I've also decided that I have some 12 by 12 pieces that I've cut apart, and so I'm going to set these aside to a separate stack so that I can also make layouts for family or for myself included or for friends, because I do also scrap pictures for some friends, and so if I can't use it as a half to make my 12 by 12 countdown panels, I'll set them aside to make layouts. So this frame, essentially it's a frame, I gutted out the paper. I want to use this on a layout, and so I'm going to set that aside. I feel like I can cut this as a 6 by 12 and use both of these in different countdown calendars or in the same, just not right next to each other. So I'm keeping this as a 12 by 12 for the countdown calendars have a name. I just can't think of it right now. I can use this, it's pretty busy, so I might have to simplify or put a panel on top of it and just use as a smaller type of embellishment because it is so busy. This one I can use as a 6 by 12, so I'm keeping that one. This looks like I can use it for a layout, so I might keep this one aside. If I don't decide to keep them, I can always give them away as well. So there's that option also. This looks like an option that I can take to one side, or I can just fussy cut this area. Well, no, because I don't like the one-sided edge. I don't know, but this one I'm gonna keep in here just for options because I know that I can use this as an embellishment. This one's busy, but I can also use it as a panel, also as a panel. This looks more like a layout type, very simple, but I can use this as a whole. It already has a frame around it, and this can go as a layout. This can be used as a panel for my countdown. Also, same, I can cut this down. I think this can be a 6 by 6, just about. So I'm gonna try and keep this one on this side. Same for that. These are cute, and they have that glitter detailing. That's super cute. Why not? Let's try to keep it. And then this is gonna go to the recycle bin. I didn't realize that I had 2 stacks here, so we're just gonna go into this one. And this is also by Mambi, and this is also from 2013. So already this is like 7 years old. I don't think I need the cover anymore, especially since I'm trying to go ahead and make countdown calendars with all of this paper. I have several that I have to make. This isn't a full 12 by 12 sheet, so I'm gonna set that one aside into the scraps. I like this background. I like this one as well. This looks like the panels that I'm making. I say 6 by 12 in the paper, but I fold the 12 by 12 piece in half so that it's like a card, and then I just glue the ends that are folded together so that it makes a sturdy. So this is gonna be a layout type of paper, and then this can still be for the countdown calendars. Same. These are lots of diagonals. This is a layout paper to me, a foil piece. Here's another, lots of borders. I like this. I want to cut all this up, but I'm going to keep it intact and see maybe if I can use them as a panel. This looks like the whole complete layout to me, or this would be bigger than the panel, but oh, I would certainly love to use that as a panel and put a number there and call it a day. Layout, I think it's so cute to keep together. This doesn't scream Christmas. You you can use this as a background in regular scrapbooking. Once I go through 1 or 2 of my calendars or nearing the end, if I don't end up using them, I can also incorporate these into my regular paper stack. I plan on breaking down several of my older paper pads just like I'm doing this one, and I think I'm going to break them down into either color or just pattern or type. I had already had some also pre-selected for envelopes while I did do my Christmas cards, and so some of these are labeled as such so that I can use them like that. But for now, it's going into the Christmas countdown panels, and then this ends up being recycle bin. Here's a third one. This one is from DCWV and it's called Jolly Whimsy, and it had 48 sheets. So that means that somewhere along the line I used 162 sheets from these 5 pads alone. So that's great. Meaning I cut them up and I used them. It doesn't mean that I completely used them up because I do have scraps everywhere. So we went through this one and this one. So these 2 no longer need to be kept intact or whatever. I'm getting rid of these panels also. They'll be going into the recycle bin. And then anything else, I think I'm just going to, like I said, I'm going to put these all together. And then I think we're going to go with them by color. I think just for easier access, that's why I think I decided to do them by color stacks. I've never put any of my stacks together. So this is the first time I'm doing this. And for me, this is a safe option. This is something that that my brain can comprehend, because it's not, I don't really think I'm going to use these scraps, so they might end up for something else, but I can punch or stamp on the back and use them as that. So they're going to go into the scrap pieces of paper. I'm taking apart, oh, I hope I didn't just tear that paper. I didn't. The glue's all weird. These are from 2013 again. So for now, I'm just going to take this paper stack, and I think I'm going to keep one of these for a 12 by 12 layout, since it does have that kind of frame around it, and make a layout for one of my sisters. So I do have doubles of some of this paper. See, this one was for envelopes. I don't need that there anymore. That way you can see what I'm using. This one is all messed up, so I'll probably just use this 6 by 12 panel, and then maybe use like this part, this much of it. So I'm gonna not want that side. I thought this pattern was darling. This has some red foiling to it. The red page has gold foiling to it. I could use this front panel. This one has some gold foil detailing to it, and there's a double. I've used it whether there've been envelopes or Christmas cards. I haven't done any Christmas banners, but along with the countdowns, I do plan on sending them a little word Christmas banner, and that's gonna be the gift that I intend on giving during this Christmas, because last year I told everyone I was gonna do it and they were all expecting it, and I didn't get any done. Surprise, surprise, you know, but more dramatic like. So coming to the end of this pad, and I think I'm gonna make this a layout because it's adorable. I think I found this in one of my other paper pads, and I realized that it went in this one, so I moved it to where it belonged. So there goes this, and like I said, to make them all nice and neat and prepared, I'm gonna cut this at the end. These are already pre-cut, and they had that little line that you could perforate, and so these don't need to be prepped anymore. Those are ready to go. Now we're coming up on this holiday cheer stack from Die Cuts with a View. Half were treated with foil, also from 2013. So I think that's when I purchased all of these. Here's some more scraps. Here's some more of those numbers that I can use all together or separate. So those are gonna go to a separate stack. They're not gonna go in the scraps. And this is all scrap paper. This is a gutted paper, so I'm gonna use that in the layout. And here, that one's gonna go in that stack because that's not a full 12 by 12 option. I don't know that I'm gonna use that border for the countdown panels, but I shall see. Those are double of that green paper pattern, and then these are red. So that's that stack. So that one was almost used up. I think it was because it was a lot of red and green. So this is the last Mambi sheet stack. It has 25 whole 12 by 12 sheets of paper. Starting off with this green one, it has perforated lines. So I'm gonna do that at the end off camera. For now, I'm gonna try and tear them off like that, but it's a bit hard. This has a lot of bright, colorful pattern, cutesy style animal, and I don't mind that. I'm gonna tear off this front because I don't want it to snag on on that and tear my paper. I still might use this, so I'm gonna keep it in there. This doesn't say Christmas to me. Once again, if I don't end up using this for my countdown, I can always pull these out and use this in my regular. This also says summer to me, or spring, something colorful, a birthday party. I'm either gonna pull one of these out to make a layout, or yeah, this doesn't say Christmas. That says summer to me. That can be a summer background page, but like all of these, I don't know if I'm gonna be able to use them as panels. When I get to that point, I'll have to. This has funny characters, cutesy characters on the bottom. I love this page. This is fun for me. Also, another pattern paper that does not scream Christmas that can be used elsewhere if it's not being utilized in my Christmas things. Ooh, that glue is major. Okay, I love this bright red with the characters standing out because they kind of have a little white outline with white snowflakes on them. Penguins. This is like a pink, not so much of that vibrant red. And we're coming up to the end part of this stack as well. I don't know that I'll use this as a background page, so I'm going to take one of these and put it in the layout stack. And I think this one, I love this glitter detail on it, so I'm going to put this in the layout right from the get-go as well. And then this is another fun pattern. I love these patterns. They're so much fun for me. And then I love this one with the green foiling, and I think that's the end of the stack. So from here, what I'll do, I'm going to put all incomplete 12 by 12 or scraps into this bag like I had mentioned before, and I'll probably incorporate all the colored scraps into one bag, and then that way once I go through those scraps and find out, put them in by color, I think they'll be easier to sort through as well. So I'm going to set that aside. I'm going to flip these over, and then I'm going to see if I can put stuff in color, and I hope I don't annoy anybody with this. You can stop looking if you'd like from here. These are multicolor with the frame, so I'm going to set those aside. I don't know what I'm going to do with those yet, but I think I'm going to keep those as a different category so that they're easier to go through. I know I'll have a certain stack of this type of paper because I have had a few like that. Green, and then that's another frame paper. This is green, this is green, blue. I don't know my Roy Biv. Red. I think I'm gonna make a separate stack off screen so that I can just manage the color stacks here. So this is gonna be on my right hand side, the frame paper. Red pattern, pink pattern. Can you see me here from the bottom? So this is pink to me, then that's pink as well. So those are gonna go like that. This is that frame looking paper. There's a blue. I'm gonna count that. What should I count that as? I'm gonna go with white because it's on a white background. And then there's a cream, how appropriate. I see this as blue primarily, and then this is green. So blue and then green. I'm trying not to fuss with it so much so that I know that this is just a quick process so that I can get it done and I can kind of categorize it in my head. I see more pink more than anything, so that's gonna go here for me. There we go. Here's another pink. Here's a green one for me. This one is like a blue. Put it in this category. This is red and gold foil. I can go on top. So you can stop watching if you get the gist of it. I'm just gonna keep going until I finish this stack. Should we have a multicolor or a stripe category? Let's go with, I see pink mostly. That's what I see first, so that's what I'm gonna do. This is white background, so that'll go here. This is red to me. Blue. And another pink one, and another pink one with gold foil. Red right on top. These all say green to me, even though that's on a white background. This could say red or green either way, but I'm going to put it with the green. Green. Blue. Green. Green. Red and green. Ooh, that's hard. Let me do it with this white background. Green, and it's just what I see first. That's how I'm putting it into the color stack. Pink. That's what it screams to me. Blue, but this is a frame one, so I'm gonna move this one. This one doesn't have the frame, so I can use this one. Red, and then this one says green to me. Black. put that underneath the cream colored one. Pink. These are all pink, and that's red. So I'm gonna put them under that. Multicolor, I'll just put it over here with this black one. Pink with red foil, but I see pink, and then I see a red one that's diagonal. And then I have a black diagonal with white, and I'm gonna leave that one here at the end. Red and pink. This is my marker for pink. Red, the stack is almost done if anybody's curious. So let me take the rest of the stack out. I would put this with black. I would put this with that white background. And this is a red. So that's the end of my stack. I hope that y'all enjoyed. If you want to see the stack all together, after I've cut the tops off and fixed all this paper up, I can show that to you. And 78 here. And I don't know what I did with the final count for the other one, but I know it was like, I thought it was like 50 something sheets. I'll have to go back. Okay, so I don't know how long this video is going to take. I already made my stack of all the papers that I had together, and I kind of put them in a color order that made sense to me. So here's a quick flip through. And I did do a final count on all the papers that I had up until here. This right here is a stack of 120 full 12 by 12 sheets, and 112 I think I said. And then I have 18 sheets of these thin papers, which I kind of put in order as well. And then I don't know how many I have of these frame ones, because honestly, I don't think I'll be using these for the countdown calendar. I think I'm actually going to use these for scrapbook layouts. So those are set to the side, and they're all separated by this one pink paisley loose sheet, I guess I'll call it, that wasn't in a paper pad, but it is one of those designer papers or whatever. And then I have a piece of cardstock that I also included into this, so that makes 120 sheets that I can use. I did have my scraps set aside, and I did already separate them, with the exception of this stuff. This I just brought back from my recycle bin because I was going to throw these out, but then I realized that I can make hole reinforcements for them for the pages. So I did already take some time, punched out a few. If I need them later to make more pages, I just want to add them so that the little pages are a little bit sturdier. So I do have them kind of in color order, not really, just something quick and something that I just made a quick observation of. This is either like the red or pink. This is like the grays. Then it turns into the black and white, the black and cream, the like brown kind of or gold foil. This is all together. Then the red and green I placed together. So anything by color I just kind of grouped in together. I can put those in there. And I did set apart over on this side the paper scraps that were at least 6 or 6.5 inches in length by 12 inches, because I can use these as my 6 by 12 panel that I can fold in half. And so this one did fit that criteria of the size. However, it's cut in the wrong way because I'd like to cut it in half and then fold it over, and so that one of the panels in the front at least would show the picture going the right way. This one has the picture going sideways, and so I can't use the panel going this way or this way. However, I can cut this into a smaller panel and put this on top of one of the actual pages, so it's still usable. And then here's the green, and this one didn't fit the criteria because it is an 11-inch in length piece of paper. And then here are my smaller or thinner pieces of scratch paper that I had in those 2 bags. I do have another bag that I have like shapes or just random cut aparts, and I punched a few out of, I had them already punched, but like these I only had tiny scraps, and so I brought out my circle punch and I punched these 3 pieces out. For these smaller bits, I'm thinking of actually using that hole reinforcer punch and just using these to do that, which can be convenient because I can also use the backside if I want a regular white reinforced hole. With that being said, this is all going to go back into, this is probably going to go into a different baggie just because they're smaller. This will go into that 12 by 12 bag. And then also I kept these cut aparts, I just kept them intact just in case I want either a panel out of this and that way these are not making bulk and these are just easier to look at all at once. I did find one more frame that I can use in a scrapbook page. I just wanted to film it just in case anybody else is trying to figure out how to make process of all your scraps or what ideas you can use. Anything, I think if you're interested in watching these types of videos, then any information that you pick up would be valuable or helpful to you. Since I did go through the papers that do fit the 6x12 criteria, I did collect them together and then I started doing like a random pattern. So whatever just spoke to me that was different and not the same colored pattern, one right after the other, I just put together, and this will now be one of the countdown calendars, and I'm just starting to make the patterns. So I don't want to have like two green panels going together, and so this is what it's going to look like. And it may look like a bit of a shoot show, if you will, but I think as you turn the panel for the next day, you're not going to see all of them together. And so having the different, I think if I only had red and white panels, it wouldn't matter, but I kind of like all the patterns, and they're going to be different. They're going to look different even though they're all going to be Christmas related. I like this one that has this. So I might put that on the bottom and the front like this. So that's how my panel would look. And then I really do get to use fully a whole 12x12 sheet, because I know that at one point or another, I used part of this sheet somewhere else, whether it's I'm going to put this one here because you kind of lose the color. These have been used, the other half of this page has been used elsewhere. And so now I know that I'll be really using up all of these panels. And I think this is where I stopped. So then from here, I'm going to pick from my 12x12 paper and continue on until I have 25 full sheets. And that'll be one advent calendar. I can cut them 6x12, fold them in half, and then start that that word that I want to use, but I keep forgetting. It's like a streamlined process, but I can't remember the exact words, and I keep saying it sometimes and then I forget it. But anyway, this is where my process has stopped as of now. Once I cut them, I will bring in all the other things that I work in to show you the next step of what I plan to do in this order that I'm trying to do my countdown calendar in. So since I decided to start with the stack that already had pre-cut papers that fit the 6x12 criteria, I went ahead and picked all of my 25 papers. So they're mixed in between, although the 12x12s, after I used the half-used ones, then I picked from the 12x12 stack. And so this is going to be the order that I'm going to keep them in. I just kind of chose colors that seemed like they made sense to my eye. So this is essentially what the whole countdown calendar is going to look like visually in a color. And maybe they don't go right now, but once you see the panels all one by one, it really doesn't matter what order they go in. It just has to kind of have that mood and feel, and the mood and feel is Christmas. And so as long as it's happy and joyful to me in my eye, I'm sure my family will enjoy it, whichever member gets this. And yeah, so I'm going to go ahead and get started, and this is how I did it. And then I just figured, looking at the order of the paper, I just went and said, oh, I need something that looks blue, or I haven't included a blue in a bit, so let me include a blue one. And then I said, what else will break up the monotony? Let me put in something with a white background. And that's how that white and gold foil came in. And then I said, I have pink over here somewhere. I haven't added it in a while, so I brought in this pink and brown, which kind of took care of it together. So now it makes it cohesive in both areas. I have something that I haven't brought in a green in a while. So here's green, 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 and then a lighter type of green. So I brought in a more vibrant green, and then a pink red combination. And then again, one of those neutral colored, which went here. The gold is also considered a neutral. And then I did have like a brownish neutral here. So I brought it back into the mix. So even though it's not like a real type of sequential order, it is something that made sense to me. I tried to bring in all the colors after that neutral brown that I saw everywhere here, like the gold, the pink, the light blue, the green. So it all makes sense bringing it in. And then the last one, I noticed that I didn't have any more black. So I have one here, another here, here, and here. So I think 4 black paper backgrounds in the thing kind of made sense to me. And I could bring in the number 25 or the number 1, I think it is. I think I go from 25 to 1. And then I think I should put it in from 1 to 25. And then that's the countdown. I don't know. However they get it, they can flip the numbers around if they want to. But I figured if this is 25 or 1, then it would be a nice red to put the number on in a good contrast contrast. If you know how you would do this, if you would count down from 25 to 1 or from 1 to 25, let me know down below in the comments. And so I'm gonna go ahead and get these started and cut, and then you'll see my next process. It was a little bit to get through and try and use these paper stacks, but once I do this all over again, once I cut these, I think I want to start with whatever half papers I end up from these 12 by 12s that are in this stack, and then start my process all over again, and then that way it'll just be something continuous. Although I will say I'm kind of wondering whether I should use the same type of papers that I've used for the countdown and incorporate them into a banner first and work countdown and banner together so they look more cohesive, or if I should just do all the countdowns and then all the banners, and then it doesn't matter what they get. It'll be kind of like in Spanish there's a dish called a capirotada, which it looks all mixed up. So it would be like a mixed bag, I guess is what I'm trying to say in English. So we shall see. Anyways, thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this rather long video. I hope it's not too long. I hope it wasn't too boring. I hope I brought something new to the table or something different to watch, or hopefully this is just enjoyable overall and you can scrap along while you hear me talk and ramble about trying to get something done. Don't forget to check out the other wonderful ladies also participating in this. We'll see you in the next video. Have a great day wherever you are. Bye!